A big part of this company's success has been founded in racing, and this is the time for us to get back.
Make a race boat that performs very well, but also that it has a dual purpose.
We try to be fast on the water and slow on paper.
It should be reliable, it should be good materials, and it should be done the best way we can do it.
A lot of solutions are completely new. You only see them in XR41.
There's nothing comparable, I would say.
I'm Ken Nielsen, and I'm so fortunate to be the CEO of X-Yachts. I actually recall the first time I laid eye on an X-Yacht. It was a Danish championship in X79, and I was standing on the shore just looking at the 80 of these beautiful boats that was state-of-the-art then, actually to my perspective still is today. And also made a huge impact on me was looking at the Admiral's Cup in the early days, having the 1-tonners and the 50-footers, and that was an amazing era that still when we post pictures about boats from that era, then there's a lot of traction on our social media. So that's one of my big moments in X-Yacht history. In the last 15 years, we haven't really produced any races. We've mainly been focusing on performance cruises, but we would really like to get back to our roots. A big part of this company's success has been founded in racing, and this is the time for us to get back. Inspiration for the project we're in right now was IMX 40s, IMX 45s, where we saw boats that were able to win regattas, and actually today I see those boats circumnavigating the world. We have been extremely focused on finding the perfect boat that has a dual purpose. How can we have a race boat that is able to win races and still can be converted for a sporty cruiser for the weekend with your family? And it's not an easy job, but the way we went around that topic is that we have modules in the boat. We have some various stuff where you can change the concept of the boat.
I'm Thomas Mielek. My background is as a naval architect, working with design and engineering. To explain it briefly, it is starting out with the basic design of the yacht. We're starting out with the hull design in particular. We've been focusing very much on optimizing that part of the design toward the ORC rule for the Class B, where we are targeting the very top end of that. We could do various turns around in the design spiral, adding the rigging, the appendages and so forth, adding all up to the complete yacht. There's a lot of special things around the XR41. We've really been thinking out of the box with this one. There's, for instance, a lot of trimming options that are really racy, but we've kept them in a simple way, so they are also easy to use for the sporty cruiser as well. Definitely means going back to the true DNA of X-Yachts, and of course for me as a keen racer myself, it's really coming closer to the passion of sailing.
This project has differed a lot from what we normally do at X-Yachts. For 45 years, we've basically been doing everything ourselves. And I think that differs a bit from the market in general. We needed the best from the business. So we teamed up with various partners, that being Nord Sales, that being Xavier Jordanez on design, that being Max Gurgel on optimizing the ORC. So very deliberate choices on partners. And I think that is what will bring us the results in the end.
My name is Max Gurgel. I'm a physicist and data scientist and expert in machine learning. My job is to optimize ORC regatta boats. When we are sailing big boats, all boats are individually different. And so it's a challenge to come up with a fair rating system that really the team wins which performed best on the course. So every boat has its rating. And basically the time that the boat needs to sail the course is multiplied with this rating factor. Our main focus is always to optimize the performance versus rating ratio. We try to be fast on the water and slow on paper. We ended up at a semi-parametric geometry model where we basically started from a set of base hulls. And then we applied kind of data mining and machine learning techniques to decide which of these geometries was best with regards to the performance versus rating ratio. So we've positioned the boat that it's going to be the fastest in Class B, also with some margin. So we are not exactly on the maximum CDL. We have some margin, and we also have put a lot of flexibility in the whole setup that in case the ORC will decide to move the borders again a little bit, we can very easily adjust our setups.
My name is Dan Petersen. I'm working here for 32 years. I'm sitting in this board where we discuss the details. Of course, there's a lot of people in this board, a lot of good sailors with a lot of experience, and they all come in with their ideas. Of course, we are coming from a lot of different, some are sailing TB52, some are doing around the world boats, some are sailing small one design classes. So they all have different ideas. So we are trying to mix all this together to find a boat which will hit the middle of what we want. Before I started X-Yachts, I have a 33-footer, and it performed very well when we were in a lot of races. And then when we start to race against the 79, you'll see it here, then we could not beat them. We could beat everyone else, but not the 79. I liked sailing. But if you have no chance, if your boat is not simply fast enough or well designed or balanced enough, then I really look forward to have a X79. I have some trouble with my wife because she don't like the shape, so it takes me a little time to convince her. But then we have had 3 of them when we was very young, and we raced them for a Danish championship, German championship, Dutch championships, and for cruising as well. And this boat performed, in my opinion, very well. And you have pantry, you have bed, you can live in it. The special, I will say, is that we produce very carefully and have this in our mind all the time, that it should be reliable, it should be good materials, and it should be done the best way we can do it. The customer will get a boat is really fun to sail, and also not too difficult to sail, easy to handle, but still with a lot of performance you can find. If you play a little bit with the boat, you practice with your crew, you can find a little more. You will not hit the wall and say, okay, now the boat cannot perform anymore.
I'm Thor Sebastiansen. I have worked for X-Yachts now for 22 years. I hear from our dealers, I hear from potential customers what they look for into this project, and I try to transmit that into our discussion. I think a boat like the XR41 or the XP38 I had myself, it would be sad not to use it for various things. I relax when I go out cruising with my family, and I can see how it also generates a special relationship with your kids. If you are on a boat for 2 or 3 weeks, you get so much closer with them. And then I convert my boat. I have done that. So we empty the boat for all unnecessary cruising equipment. I have no doors, no cushions, everything is out. If you want to race, you have to do it 100%. So do everything you can to get the boat prepared, and that's part of it. In the background, maybe you can see that the mock-up. How should this deck layout be? So we have created a deck layout where you can remove some benches, so you really have a working deck layout for a fully crewed boat.
So a project where I have spent so many hours to design the correct boat.
For our employees getting back on the racing scene, it means the world. Some of these guys have been doing IMXs, XR41s, they have been there, and we know what that racing era has done to our capabilities in making good cruising boats. So getting back into that, working on rudders, shapes and hull shapes and keels in another dimension that we normally do, that's brought a lot of positive atmosphere. I think we will have better cruisers in the future based on this.
I'm really interested to see all this theory which we have put in the boat. How would this work out in the reality?
The XR41 will also be a much more fun boat downwind. It will go back to the X79 99 times, where you actually surf downwind with these boats.
Definitely looking forward to sail on the XR41 and especially to see it on the water as well.
It will be super strong in ORC and it will be super fun to sail.